Om Namo Narayani. Welcome for the week 21, the class of week 21. We'll be looking at Sri Lalitha's names from 138 to 144. Let us begin with our prayers. Om Jnana-rūpāya vidmahi Shakti amsaya dhimahi Tanno Shakti amma prachodayat. Om Jnana-rūpāya vidmahi Shakti amsaya dhimahi Tanno Shakti amma prachodayat. Om Jnana-rūpāya vidmahi Shakti amsaya dhimahi Tanno Shakti amma prachodayat. Om Sarvamangala-mangalye Shive Sarvartha-sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Sarvamangala-mangalye Shive Sarvartha-sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Sarvamangala-mangalye Shive Sarvartha-sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Om Sahana Bhagato Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhyanam Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanamanikya-maulisphurattaranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhim Apina Vakshoruham Panibhyam Alipurnaratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Bibhratim Saumyam Ratna Ghatastha Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Paramambikam Dhyayet Padmasanastham Vikasita Vadanam Padmapatrayatakshim Hemabham Pitavastram Karakalitalassat Hema Padmam Varangim Sarvalankara Yuktam Satatam Abhayatam Bhaktanam Ram Bhavani Shri Vidyam Santamurtim Sakala Suranutam Sarva Sampat Pradatrim Sakunkuma Vilepanamalika Chumbi Kasturikam Samanda Hasitekshanam Sachara Chapa Pasankusam Vasesha Janamohini Marunamalya Bhushojvalam Japa Kusuma Bhasuram Japa Vidhau Smaredambikam Arunam Karunatarangitakshim Dhrutapashankusha Pushpabana Chapam Animadhibhiravratam Mayukhairahamityeva Vibhavaye Mahesim Om Aim Krim Shreem Om Namo Narayani. Let us start with the 138th name of Sri Lalitha. Om Shreem nirākulāyai namah swaha. Om Shreem nirākulāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shreem nirākulāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shreem nirākulāyai namah swaha. Om Shreem nirākulāyai namah swaha. Om Shreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is never agitated. Akula is agitation, disorder, and nirakula, she is never in agitation, she's never in disorder, never confused. And all these confusions, akula, the agitations, the disorders, come when we enter into the realm of duality. The Maya, the me, you, and the whole world, when it starts manifesting, then different possibilities arise, and then the confusion and agitation of the mind starts, agitation, and it expresses itself in actions. But for her, who's beyond all this, she is the one who has created, that is she's the source for everything, and from her, there is no agitation whatsoever. We have come across Akula. Akula, when we were describing her name, Akulaye, Akula is path. Kula is path, Akula is, there is no path for her. Here this is Akula, so the meaning is different. Akula is agitation. We will look at her 139th name. Om Shreem nirgunāyai namah swaha. Om Shreem nirgunāyai. There is a dot under the second guna, na. There is a dot under that N. It's not guna, but guna. The stress on the na. Nirgunāyai nirgunāyai, namah swaha, namah swaha, Om Sreem, Om Sreem, nirgunāyai, nirgunāyai, namah swaha, namah swaha, Om Sreem, Om Sreem, nirgunāyai, nirgunāyai, namah swaha, namah swaha, Om Sreem, nirgunāyai, namah swaha, Om Sreem, nirgunāyai, namah swaha. Om Sreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is beyond the gunas, the three gunas of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas that manifest. Once creation comes, Prakrti, manifestation comes. These gunas are part and parcel of that creation. And we have mentioned it earlier at some point about the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Here, in more elaboration, what are these gunas? And those who are familiar with Ayurveda, Siddha, Yoga, you might have come across these terms and you may be familiar with it. Sattva is that purity, and it is a state of being in that pure state. It's a state of wisdom. The quality of wisdom comes with it. And it's a person in a sattva state is drawn to, there is attachment still to pleasures, to refined things, to intellectual pleasures. Those subtle things bring a lot of joy, and yet there is still a certain amount of attachment. Rajas is one with a lot of activity. There is passion, and it can be, it's like the mind is on the go to achieve, to achieve, to achieve. There is always a race of gaining things, doing things, action for achievement. And it can, when in imbalance, lead to greed and pain associations. And the tamas is like, it is darkness, it is ignorance, it's inertia, it is excess of sleep, heedlessness, lack of wisdom. And these gunas are seen in people, in the same person at different times. And these can be in groups of people, individuals, tamoguna, sattva guna, rajas guna. And these are also, they pervade the food, like the food we eat can be looked at as sattvic. You would have heard of sattvic food, rajasic food, tamasic food. And sattvic food is that which nourishes, gives vitality, strength. It is fresh. It gives health. It is good, nourishing, good food. Rajasic food is that which is kind of excites you. It's like all the spicy food and the things that palate craves for, the strong flavors, taste. And those are all more rajasic food. So sattvic is more mild, and it's gentle for on the taste and for the body and for the assimilation. Rajas is like, it kind of stimulates the nervous system, stimulates the thoughts, it stimulates desires. So food is very important in our life, that when we adjust our food, our qualities that are predominant in imbalance can come into balance, the rajasic food. And tamasic food is like stale, leftovers, spoiled food that doesn't have any nourishment, it doesn't give vitality. Rather, it kind of depletes vitality and takes away energy. Those kinds of food that is unhealthy, these are tamasic. That's just in food. And these can apply to type of even devotion, worship to the divine can be sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. There can be people when giving gifts, it can be a sattvic gift, rajasic gift, a tamasic gift. A sattvic gift is given with so much love, with nothing in return. It's like pure offering with no expectation. And it is beneficial for the person who's receiving it. It is in the need of the moment. Rajasic food is, gift is something that we give and expect something in exchange, in return. And the ego comes in there. And the tamasic food gift, I'm still in food, the tamasic gift is, it is given indifferently, it is given without the value of giving. There is no connection. It doesn't benefit the one who gives, it doesn't benefit the one who receives. And it is squandered, it is wasted, and it benefits no one. And it can be a waste, and it can even bring harm. So every action of ours, every thought of ours, of food, activities, what we do, everything can fall into these sattva, rajas, tamas. And she is beyond all these qualities, even beyond sattva. From tamas, we rise to the rajas, which is better, being dull, in inertia, sleeping all the time, having no interest in anything, to develop love for life and zest and passion is better. It is improving. And then from that to go to a state of tranquility and to seek the good, to rise to the sattvic level is very good. But is that the ultimate? To go beyond even these is when we connect totally with God. And these are all progressions in the path. And she doesn't, even though they're all part of her play in her creation, she is not touched by any of these gunas. She is beyond these gunas. And there is a usage, we talk of Brahman. Brahman is that we saw nirākulāyai, Om Sreem, nirākulāyai namah swaha. Nirakara is the formless, she is without any form. And that formless state is equated to Brahman. There is no, beyond all qualities, everything. And that Brahman is referred to as nirguna Brahman, nirguna, without any gunas. And nirguna Brahman, she is that state. She is nirgunāyai, namah, swaha. And even austerities, we do yajnas, we do prayers, pujas, yajnam. Everything can be done sattvically, rajasically, or tamasically, and it yields those respective fruits. The way it is done and way it is offered is so important. The ingredients may be the same, the protocols, the procedures may be the same, but the mind and the heart from which the offering is made makes all the difference. It can become a sattvic offering, it could be rajasic, it could be tamasic, even though the ingredients and the protocols, the procedures are same. And it is for us to be aware of these gunas and to know that she is unaffected, she is beyond all these. And there is we may have heard this prayer, asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It's a very, very well-known prayer. Asatoma sadgamaya. From untruth lead me to the truth. Tamasoma. There it is the tamas. From the state of tamas lead me to Jyotir Gamaya. Jyotir is light. From darkness, lead me to light. So tamas is equated to that darkness, ignorance, and from that to the state of light. And Mrityorma is from death to immortality, which again, her last name is Mukti, so it comes into that later. We will now look at her 140th name. Om Shri niṣkalāyai namah swaha. Om Shri niṣkalāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shri niṣkalāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shri niṣkalāyai namah swaha. Om Shri niṣkalāyai namah swaha. Om Shri. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is without parts, who is the totality, the whole, the partless unitary whole. There is no parts and this part in her. And Kala, again, we would have come across this in usages like Chandra Kala. The moon, the crescent moon is the Chandra Kala. We would see the Chandra Kala in many of the deities' pictures. You'll see a crescent moon there, and it is the Chandra Kala. And then Kama Kala, it's again Kama Kala comes in the Sri Chakra. It is Kama is the desire. So that these are different aspects, parts of it. But she is not. Even though there are parts in her, she is not the parts. Like we can say it like is the totality of a person may have different organ. Is that organ, that cell, this part of this person? Yes, but is it that person? No, it is a part of that person when you look at it from the part. But for the person itself, there is the totality, and she is that whole totality where everything resides in that, emanates from her, dissolves in her. It is all there, but she is by herself without any parts. Niṣkalāyai. And the Brahman, all these names are going into her formless state, that is in the Brahman state, that is beyond all these descriptions we see earlier. Those are all her attributes. She is more than these attributes. These attributes are part of her, but she is beyond all these attributes. We will look at her 141st name. Om Shri śāntāyai namah swaha. Om Shri śāntāyai namah swaha. namah swaha. Om Shreem. Om Shreem. śāntāyai. śāntāyai. Namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shreem śāntāyai namah swaha. Om Shreem śāntāyai namah swaha. Om Shreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is ever serene, tranquil. And Shanta is the name we keep saying, Om Shanti, it is that peace. And earlier again, we saw Shanti Matyai, the peace, never agitated. It seems like it's a thesaurus of different little minor changes, but they're all similar themes with little subtleties in their differences in the name, but correlating to that tranquility, that peace and calm. And in the Shanti Matyai, she is soft, she speaks, she's never harsh in her words, she doesn't say anything harsh. And it is śāntāyai. Here there is no nirs. All this while we were like negation, she's not this, she's not this, she's not this. And now she is this, she is śāntāyai, she is Shanti, that peace, that serene, tranquil state. And Amma says, like we all hear it, we know, we can buy many things in life, but certain these qualities cannot be bought with money. Peace cannot be bought with money. How do you get this peace? She is always in that state of peace, and we are trying to get that peace. We are working towards it. And how do we do that? And Amma gives beautiful explanations. She says there, devotion is like a fence we put around us, because the mind can be drawn, attracted to so many things. The mind can get lost in this mire of attractions and distractions around us. It's an ongoing thing in this world we live in. But when this devotion comes in, it's like it trains us, it's a fence, and it pulls us, keeps us connected with the divine. And what is the divine's quality? That peace. And when we have anchored ourselves with that, these distractions and attractions, the desires, are not as strong as before. We are able to see with wisdom and through the wisdom of devotion whether it is really needed, or we can let go of it. That attachment, when we are not able to get it or let go of it, that it is the craving and aversion, these pull and pushes are all like taking away that peace. And this peace, which is a very nature, that tranquil state, we attain as we connect deeper and deeper with her, get closer and closer to her. And one of the masters mentions, like the rich man is comfortably uncomfortable, the poor man is uncomfortably uncomfortable. To be whether comfortably comfortable or uncomfortably comfortable, whether we have the luxuries or we don't have the luxuries and yet be comfortable here, to reach that state is a gift. And when we align ourselves with that need, when we seek that, then we are able to connect deeper with the divine. Amma's recent full moon discourse, just a few days back, she was talking about happiness and talking about this, saying that we can have desires, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't attach your happiness to when that desire gets fulfilled. To be happy with what we have right now is that happiness, that peace that comes with it. And many times, even those we are aware of it, we are in the spiritual path, all of us, including me, everyone, we know it in theory, but in practice, we lose sight of that what we have now is that already is given to us, and to be happy with that, we can have desires, but offer it to the divine and not be attached to it. And this piece, Amma is talking about how when a car is going by, a Benz car, and a multimillionaire is driving in that car, passing by, he sees a village hut and a man sleeping on a cot outside his hut in the open air, but just a cot outside. And the man on the cot, lying on the cot outside his hut, is thinking, oh wow, look at this person going in the fancy car. When will I have these affluence? And the man passing by, he's in that car, he's looking at this man, say, see how peaceful and relaxed he is. I'm running around like this crazy. When will I be able to lie down, relax like this, like so free and unencumbered and so relaxed? And it's like the grass is always green on the other side. We look at the others to think that they are better off, but everyone, it's an inner journey to find that peace here, right here within us. And this comes as we connect deeper and deeper, a stronger connection with our soul, which is the divine right here. And she is that śāntāyai, because that quality is already here, because the divine is here. All the qualities of the divine, all the descriptions we are seeing, they are there, they are dormant. We just haven't reached it or thought about it or worked to tap into it. So to Sri Lalitha, who is ever serene and tranquil, śāntāyai, namah. We will look at her 142nd name. Om Sreem niṣkāmāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem niṣkāmāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem niṣkāmāyai niṣkāmāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem niṣkāmāyai niṣkāmāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem niṣkāmāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem niṣkāmāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is beyond desires. Kama is desire. We've come across this many times earlier. We saw she is Kamakshi, the eyes that are so attractive, beautiful. It's an attraction, that desire, that pull. Kamadayinyai, she fulfills our desires. She fulfills the desires of all those who come to her, but she herself is beyond all desires. She is Nish, It's a negation of all desires, niṣkāmāyai. And yet the whole of creation runs based around this kama, desire. The whole of this creation, all the jivas, all the life, all the living beings, they are looking for something, they're searching something, seeking something, and it is that which keeps driving this cycle of creation. And she creates it, and she is beyond it. She watches it. It is her Leela, and she is beyond this. She's not caught up in this web of desires. When you see certain devotees, someone really in the practice, masters, they enjoy, they are happy, whatever is given to them, there is laughter, joy, they like it, all that. But here there is no attachment. After it is gone, there is no longing for it. It is like that moment, it's fulfilled, it is okay, fine, that is complete in itself. And not being caught up in it, our thoughts, our minds and emotions, when they come into it, physical, then it is like caught in the net. She is beyond all this. 143rd name. Om Shri nirākulāyai namah swaha. Om Shri nirākulāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shri nirākulāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shri nirākulāyai namah swaha. Om Shri nirākulāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is indestructible, who is imperishable. Upaplava is that which perishes. Nirupaplavā, she is never, that beingness is never, ever, ever perishes. She is, again, we'll come to see the next one. We saw earlier, she is eternal, nityāyai. She is eternal. So there is no change in her. She is indestructible, imperishable. And there are subtleties. Why are they being repeated in different forms and different ways with those similarities? And it was not, remember, created by human, this composition. It was created by Bhakti-vilasinis, those aspects of Saraswati, Mahasaraswati. So there is a meaning to each of these words, even though they sound very similar. And there are so many mantras embedded in these chants. Just saying that word invokes those qualities, those different aspects that need that tweaking, opening, or it's clearing it out, whatever needs to be cleared for it to manifest. And these energies, the mantras, work as we chant it, use it silently and aloud. When we say it aloud, it benefits the person who's chanting and the environment. When we say it silently, within, it brings a benefit to the person who's chanting it silently. And as the person imbibes these energies, their ambience eventually will get that as well. There is also another explanation to this upaplavāyai. When we are seeing it on the sequence of nir, the negation, she is indestructible. But nir has other meanings. If you look at, if it's looked another way, nir can mean much, it can mean body, it could be like the plava is like flow. So it is referring to when the Kundalini reaches the Sahasrara, there is this flow of this immortality, that nectar that flows through all the energy channels. And that is that overflow that is flowing from there to the whole body through these 72,000 nadis, or these energy channels that nourish the being and sustain the being. We will look at her 144th name, the last name for this week. Om Sreem Nityamuktāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem Nityamuktāyai Nityamuktāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Sreem Nityamuktāyai Nityamuktāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Sreem Nityamuktāyai namah swaha. Om Sreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is Nitya, eternally, forever. Muktayai, she is in that liberated state, free, who is eternally free. And she is beyond all bondages. She's beyond all, we saw attachments earlier, here bondages, any kind of bondage. And mukti is, again, can be looked at it like it is salvation. For those who are bound, look for release and salvation. That's what all the souls are yearning, to go back to the source, to release all bondages, all attachments from the seeking, those the attachments, the seeking, the desires, to be in, to reach the divine. So as we go closer and closer to the divine, we start imbibing a lot of the divine qualities. And there is the word Jivan Mukta. So the individual soul has already reached that mukti, state of salvation, liberation. And what is it? While in this life, they have achieved, gone back to the source right in this very lifetime. It's called Jivan Mukta. And for her, this salvation is not for her, because she is not in any bound form to reach that salvation. She is eternally in that liberated form. She is not bound by the creation, even though the creation, everything is in her, from her. She is not bound by the creation. She is forever liberated. She is ever in the state of mukti, in the liberated state, free, totally free from everything. And each of these words, they are simpler for us to pronounce, except upaplavāyai may need a little bit of practice, but all the names are quite easy to pronounce. But each name has so much depth. This nirgunāyai, so much can be said about the gunas. It's a huge discussion by itself, and we have touched on it to get some idea of that. And we can apply in our day-to-day life when something is flowing, are we in the sattvic state. When something is not flowing in our life with ease and grace, are we in the rajasic state or in the tamasic state? And sometimes it's not just us, it could be internal, it could be external, our environments, the seasonal changes, or people we are around with, or certain ambiances we are in. They carry those energies, and be a energy, that energy, it can interact. So in the healing systems, Ayurveda, Siddha, the Chinese, all these that go into that holistic methods, they look at all these things to bring that balance to the body, to the mind, to the emotions, and all the different yogas, Tai Chi, all these is to bring us to that state of Sattva and let go of the Rajas, let go of the Tamas. And from the Sattva, again, that you need the Guru's grace to rise beyond the Sattva, to let go of even the attachment to the goodness and the best, to be with the divine. So in this journey, we are very fortunate to hear about it and become aware of it. Let us chant all the names together that are coming for this week, 138 to 144. Om Shri nirākulāyai namah swaha. Om Shri nirgunāyai namah swaha. Om Shri niṣkalāyai namah swaha. Om Shri śāntāyai namah swaha. Om Shri niṣkāmāyai namah swaha. Om Shri upaplavāyai namah swaha. Om Shri nityamuktayai namah swaha. Once more. Om Shri nirākulāyai namah swaha. Om Shri nirgunāyai namah swaha. Om Shri niṣkalāyai namah swaha. Om Shri śāntāyai namah swaha. Om Shri niṣkāmāyai namah swaha. Om Shri upaplavāyai namah swaha. Om Shri nityamuktayai namah swaha. Om Namo Narayani. And these names are adjacent. We just saw when the desires, you're beyond desires, then peace follows automatically. And it's the desires that keep stirring in and brings in the attachment. When the desires drop, peace flows or flourishes. Let us pray that all of us are blessed with all her blessings, all these qualities of her to come to her closer beyond the gunas, to that state of peace and all that she is by her grace. Om Namo Narayani. Any questions for today? there are no questions, we can end the session. Om Namo Narayana. But if any questions come later on, you can post it to Natalie or to me, and we can take it up as well. And more than the talk, just to go and soak in these names and the meaning, if we can, with that state of devotion. People chant, so many people chant it mechanically, and it is not that just the chanting. It has its benefit, of course. The mantra sound has its effect. But when you can connect from the heart as we chant, it is that much more faster. Like that connection, that deeper, that state of that peace and that quietness, that stillness, the tranquility, and that all these qualities settle in us that easily, or it's brought forth in us as we chant it with the devotion, with the love, and it's easier when we know the meaning of it. Thank you. Om Namo Narayana.